Hey, I want to thank you for joining us here on this edition of Polk Place. I'm Brian Lacey, and from the Polk History Center, she's known as Jayme Jamison, or Mimi.
Mimi. Mimi. You know how families are. You got those nicknames, and they stick with you.
I was going through social media, and I always like to read the comments from the show, and I saw Mimi, and I was like, you're not old enough to be a Mimi, so how's the Mimi go?
Mimi is shorthand for Jayme. Mimi. My little sister, when she was born, couldn't say Jayme all the way, so she just called me Mimi. And 41 years later, I guess it was a good nickname because it has stuck.
It has stuck.
And I won't say what her nickname. Yes, I will. She's J-Bug.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So, you know, military families, everybody has to have a nickname.
Exactly. I don't even think I'm allowed to say mine.
I was going to, you know, it's funny you say that because I was like, I'm going to ask him. And then my brain said, don't ask, don't ask. Don't ask.
It's so bad.
Lacey is your nickname.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, so we made it through Christmas, made it through January.
Very cold January at the end there. I wasn't prepared.
I was putting on a shirt, and I was like, what do I have in here that's warm? And I realized all my warm clothes are here at work.
Oh, for your interview wardrobes. Yeah,
exactly.
You're like, I'm freezing.
Yeah, so January wound down.
Yep.
We got February to promote. How did January go for you guys?
January went really well. You know, we saw some of our first field trips for the season. Shout out to Resurrection Catholic, who came to visit us at the end of January. And we added a new staff member.
Do tell.
Do tell. So her name is Amanda, and she is our visitor engagement specialist.
Okay.
So her role at the History Center is kind of to be like your concierge when you get there. So she's going to greet you, kind of try to figure out what your needs are. If it's, you know, if it's research related, you know who we're going to send her to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Send her to Shannon.
There we go. I wasn't going to quiz you on her name.
No,
I know it's
Shannon
sensitive.
Graham.
Okay.
I'm familiar.
But if it's an educational opportunity, you know, she's going to work with them to schedule field trips and tours, and then she's going to be promoting our partners at Visit Central Florida and all the things that you can do here in Polk County. So we're super excited to have her.
That's very cool. Yeah. You know, I had to play a word association game to remember Shannon's name. I think of her in cereal, Golden Grahams.
Golden Grahams.
And if I get the last name right, then I get the first name right. So
oh, nice.
Yeah,
there you go. I'm wondering. I'm trying to think if that ages you at all, because I don't know if Golden Grahams, is it still out there?
Still out there.
Okay, all right. Should get sugar for breakfast.
High fructose corn syrup.
High fructose, yeah. So, but you know, going back to Amanda, we're very lucky to have her. She actually broadens our representation. We try to think of ourselves at the History Center. We take pride in where we come from in the county, and so, you know, Shannon represents kind of the Lakeland side of house, Lois, North Lakeland, Murtis, Bartow, and the surrounding area. And if you've ever had a tour with me, you know I'm going to talk about Auburndale because that's where I live. Yep. And now we have Amanda from Lake Alfred. So we've got Lake Alfred in the house, which is really exciting for us because they're, again, one of our unique 17 municipalities we have here in the county.
And if you've never seen it with her mentioning Murtis, you have got to watch our Polk Pioneers. I get to sit in on a few of those and the stories that are told. Look for it on, is it on your guys?
It's on yours. You guys have it on the PGTV YouTube page. There should be a, what do they call that, a playlist?
Yeah. I've sat in on the last two, and there are some great stories, and the information that Murtis draws out. Really good show to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I know that this year's Polk Pioneer candidates represent a diverse history here in Polk County too. So I'm excited to see them because I don't get to sit in on
the
them.
one coming up, as long as we're going to mention it. He was a legal consultant for former Florida Governor Bob Graham.
Yeah.
And it was very cool, and from the Miami area, and made Lake Wales his home. Yes. And there's some really cool stories. So I'm giving the inside information on it to make sure that they watch it.
And we're not going to tell you his name because that's, you got to follow back up. You got to click and subscribe to see when it pops, when it drops on PGTV YouTube, so that you can see who that individual is.
Very cool.
I love it. Your paycheck's in the mail.
Yeah. I set them them up, and what's your job?
Yep, knock them down.
What else we got going on?
So, of course, February, we start to celebrate and recognize Black History Month. And so it's fitting that our cemetery tour is going to be at Evergreen Cemetery. And those are the first Saturday of the month. And if you can see my head scrolling, I'm trying to figure out, I think that's the 6th or the 7th.
Yeah.
But we meet at 9 o'clock over at Evergreen Cemetery, which if you are traveling down 60, Highway 60, it's right there across from, and I always have to say the whole thing, thunder, thunder, thunder. Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Ram, and food trucks a lot of times.
Yeah.
So we're right across the street from there, and you enter the cemetery and you're just gonna look for my smiling face and I'll get you parked and we'll explore the cemetery. And it's unique and interesting. I think when people come to the cemetery tours, they assume that I'm just going to talk about headstones.
Yeah.
And here's a headstone and there's a headstone, which if you know me, that's not my strong suit, is architecture and art. What I talk about is the people. And so it's like we're going through and we're interviewing these people from the past.
Yeah.
And understanding the roles that they played sometimes in our nation when we're looking at veterans from Korea and Vietnam and World War II, or we're looking at people who helped to develop Bartow, some of the people who originally voted to incorporate Bartow. And yeah, if the weather is anything like it was this past month in January, you want to make sure you bring a coat. But
those walking tours.
Yes, and I
Hand
can
warmers.
guarantee you, hand warmers, I can guarantee you the number one comment is, wow, I didn't know there was that much history in Polk County. Number 2 comment is, I got my steps in today.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a unique way to get your steps in and or learn history, I love those cemetery tours.
Yeah, you hit the James Taylor in me when you said, and you'll see my smiling face.
Oh.
And,
James
I don't know
Taylor.
why that song went off in my head. I'm not a big James Taylor guy, but anyways.
It's somewhere in the Rolodex back there, just popped up.
Sometime off camera, I got to teach you about
James Taylor? Oh, the Rolodex.
No, the Rolodex and the ability to recall information.
We might have to start calling yours the archive at some point. But also to complement the cemetery tour in Black History Month, we have a special guide at the History Center that if your goal is to learn more about Black history in Polk County, points you directly to the different exhibits where the accomplishments and the history of Polk County's Black citizens are highlighted.
Are we doing anything special for Valentine's Day?
So I will walk around to my coworkers and tell them thank you and I appreciate working with you. But
No, I knew in the past there were a couple times there were weddings at the
Yes.
the joint weddings at the historical.
So, yeah.
with the clerk of courts.
Exactly. Yep. So currently, right now, as we speak, the clerk of courts has registration open for their annual Valentine's Day wedding. And I'm not going to say what one it is, but they're definitely approaching at least 10 years, if not more, of doing that. And yeah, you just register online. I think it's limited to a certain number of couples, but yeah, they come out, they set up on the courthouse steps, and your family can come and watch it, and one of the judges comes over and presides along with our clerk of courts, Stacy Butterfield, and usually a member of the Board of County Commissioners is also present. And yeah, sometimes they have cupcakes. I don't know what goodies they're going to have this year, but it is just one of those days that reminds you the power of love and the value of love that you don't. I know you're like,
No,
but
I was going.
oh, did you go to another song?
Huey Lewis and Celine Dion.
Okay. Anyways, on the significance of love, and that you don't have to have a giant wedding. You can just show up with your loved one and have a beautiful small ceremony with 24 other couples.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of fun because then it shows up in not just your Facebook memories, but the clerk posts about it. So you can have all the reminders of your wedding day.
Exactly.
And they have a chorus that comes out and sing. It's a really cute little beautiful affair. Again, might be a little cold this year. I don't know what's happening,
Yeah.
but
I'm hoping it'll warm up by then.
I'm hoping so too. Yeah, that's our early spring gift. So yeah, so that will be happening. If you want more information on that, you can certainly call us. However, the most direct way is through the clerk's office, Polk County Clerk of Courts.
What else is going on in February?
Well, we have our exciting event is back. On Friday, February 13th, Polk County History Day will be at the History Center. We couldn't have it last year because of the construction and all the work being done on the windows, but you might recall from years past, this is kind of like the history world's equivalent to the science fair. Students choose topics and they either write about those topics, they'll do the standard trifold board presentation. They can put on a play or a program or an interpretation, or they can do a documentary or website about the topic. And they present it, and judges come through. It's a judged competition, and they rate them, and the ones that score the highest values get to go to Tallahassee and present their topics.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and this year's theme, of course, with it being the nation's 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, is all revolved around revolution and the different ways that different revolutions, whether it's actual revolutions like the American Revolution, or is it scientific, like the medical revolution or the industrial revolution, have changed the world. And I love the performances because they're just great. The trifolds are not what they were when I was a kid.
Exactly, man.
With some Elmer's glue and some pictures cut out on. No, some of them have power, and they'll have little things that move and turn. Or we had one year a student set up a stereoscope. So you walked up to it and you looked in and you got to see pictures of what they were describing. So they get really creative. And we are open to the public. I do caution you that day traffic is a little higher through the halls at the History Center than normal.
So parking would be difficult.
Parking will be difficult. So I would come in the afternoon on Friday the 13th after 2 o'clock if you want to come visit us for some quiet time. But I'm so excited because a member of the communications team has a background in history and is participating as a judge this year.
Say for real.
Yeah, for real. I don't want to reveal their name in case some of the kids try to, bribe them off.
A little bit of payola.
Yeah, a little payola.
I'm familiar with who you're talking about.
But we're so excited because then, we're getting the buy-in from the county, the importance of what these children are doing and learning. Because, I don't know, one of them might be a county commissioner one day.
I had to laugh the other day. Was eating oysters out at Cherry Pockets.
Cherry Pocket, historic fish camp.
And was there with a bunch of people from the Boston area. And somebody asked me how old Polk County was. And I said, can I phone a friend? And if I ever get asked that question, you are that friend I'm going to phone.
You phone me, send me a text, put a smoke signal in the sky. But yeah, to answer your question, did you find out?
No, I didn't.
Oh, so this is a really timely question. On February the 8th, we will be 165 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's still like, if you compare it to the nation.
You still got time to get a card and flowers.
Yes, card and flowers.
Yeah.
When compared to the nation, though, it's like we're just still learning how to walk in Polk County. We're babies compared to the 250th anniversary of the nation, which I always think is really interesting because you take for granted, you're born and you're like, oh, Polk County's always been here. It's always, but that wasn't the case. We were part of Hillsborough County, and before that, we were just part of the territory of Florida. And I could go on for hours.
Finish on February.
But I won't. So wrapping up February, of course, I'm only going to give a sneak peek because I hear that she's on your schedule for interviews, is the genealogy speaker series. And I'm just going, here's your lead-in.
Okay.
Read all about it. Yeah.
Well, yeah. A little tip of the newspaper cap.
Little newspaper cap, governor. So Shannon will be hosting the genealogy speaker series, which of course is hybrid.
Hey, don't bury the lead.
Don't bury the lead. Okay. I'm gonna that's all I have to say about that. But no, it's hybrid. So you're more than welcome to come to the History Center and see Shannon's smiling face. Or you can participate via Zoom if you're, you kind of like me, you've got your stacks of history and you're like, I have my papers. I got to have my papers while I'm doing this. But yeah, you reach out to Shannon. And can I talk about our website really quick?
Sure.
Okay, so if you've not been on our website lately, the communications team has worked really hard to give us, kind of like your studio got a glow up, our webpage got a glow up. And there are now 2 spots that are very important. One, if you're interested in a tour or a program at the History Center, there's there's now a contact form. So if you are like my husband and you're an introvert and you'd rather not pick up the phone and call people, you just type in the contact form what you want and it magically comes to me.
I saw that.
Yep. And then Shannon and the library and Murtis with Historic Preservation have a similar contact form on the Historic Preservation form. So if you are out in the community and you're concerned or worried that a site might be historic and nobody knows about it, you can send Shannon all the information that she would need to be able to look that up and substantiate it. Or if you're looking for Mimi,
yeah,
dear Aunt Mimi, and the census records, and you can't find it, you can provide her all the information, and she'll go, "You knucklehead, her name is Jayme."
Exactly.
And yeah, it's a really good tool now to have for people who just want, a really quick answer to something.
You took away my goodbye, but I hope you're happy.
I am. I'm very happy about that.
Always good to see you, and we'll see you next month, all right?
All righty.
Polk County has a rich history and heritage, and the Polk County History Center is continuously thinking of new ways to help Polk residents experience that history. Located at 100 East Main Street in Bartow, History Center is open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. You need more information about events, you can check them out on the web at polkhistorycenter.org or give them a call, 863-534-4386. If you enjoyed that episode of Polk Place, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and even check out the next one.